so many different militia groups in the eastern part of Congo, mainly in Goma, Ruchuri, and Masisi. All that area is heavily armed by militia groups, and all of them because they are being supplied by somebody outside of the DRC. Like I said, mainly Rwanda and Uganda. So they are, if you like, the countries that the Eastern or the international companies that are using basically to wage this war. So there is a kind of a proxy war, if you like, in the Democratic Republic of Congo. But mainly what has happened is that there have been so many treaties in order to bring this conflict to an end. The latest one is one that happened in Kenya and one that happened in Angola. So we have now the group called the M23. Now this is a rebel group. Well, welcome again to Good Morning DRC TV. We are very excited to be able to bring you some news in terms of what is happening in the Democratic Republic of Congo. We dedicate our time to just basically inform you on different events and situations in our continent, that is Africa, because we believe in a strong Africa where there is the rule of law, where there is democracy, where there is stability and peace. Before I go on, can I please ask you, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please do subscribe to our channel, share this link with people that you do know, and give us thumbs up, and your comment are most welcome. This helps us so we can bring you content that you do like. Today I want to speak about what is happening in the eastern part of Congo. Now we know that there has been a lot of problems in the eastern part of Congo to do with the war that broke out back 25 years ago. And this war has actually left more than 10 million people dead. A lot of them butchered, a lot of women raped. So many things has happened in that eastern part of Congo. And what we do know so far is that is the neighboring country, mainly Rwanda and Uganda. These are the countries that have had, if you like, rebels who fled each one of these countries and came into the DRC for refuge. But what has actually happened, apparently these forces, negative forces as they call them, they are now waging war with their own country where they are from. In turn, their country now are following them into the DRC to wage war against those rebels. And what happens is that what we do know, according to a lot of reports that comes from there, is that this issue is not actually the way it is presented. It is a pretext used by Uganda and Rwanda in order to invade the Democratic Republic of Congo that is so rich in natural resources, which they are after so that they can basically plunder and be able to, if you like, export many of these natural minerals. So we know, for example, that couple of years back, may even be until today, that Rwanda was actually exporting, if you like, coltan, and there were, if you like, the first country that exported that amount of coltan and gold throughout the world. You wonder why, where did they get the coltan from? Because they don't have coltan, they don't do that kind of mining in Rwanda and Uganda as well. They export so much gold to the outside world. And where do they get that from? Most of them, the majority of that comes from the Democratic Republic of Congo. So the many people that have died or lost their lives there, they are victim, if you like, of economic violence or economic war that is taking place in the eastern part of Congo. Now, all these companies, major tech companies are, if you like, indirectly supporting what is happening in the eastern part of Congo. When I say high tech, you name them, they are there, because they are all after the natural resources, the minerals that they're looking for. But now that we're talking about transitioning to the green energy, we're talking about electric vehicles, and it's going to run on batteries. And all the minerals, all the component, raw material that is needed to produce that kind of battery, you find them in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Now, in order for them to lay hands on such raw material, they buy or they get these things illegally. So what happens, warlords in this eastern part of Congo are armed. They are supplied with all the latest equipment, machine guns and bullets and whatnot, so that they can basically cause terror and be able to take people captive, and they can work for them for free using children, women, and all that you can think of, just so that they can amass what it is that they are looking for. So this is the reason why currently there are so many different militia groups in the eastern part of Congo, mainly in Goma, Ruchuri, and Masisi. All that area is heavily armed by militia groups, and all of them because they are being supplied by somebody outside of the DRC. Like I said, mainly Rwanda and Uganda. So they are, if you like, the countries that the Eastern or the international companies that are using basically to wage this war. So there is a kind of a proxy war, if you like, in the Democratic Republic of Congo. But mainly what has happened is that there have been so many treaties in order to bring this conflict to an end. The latest one is one that happened in Kenya and one that happened in Angola. So we have now the group called the M23. Now this is a rebel group that have been fighting, and they apparently, or they're claiming that they are looking for the government to enter into negotiations about them so they can come into, so the government can actually meet what they are looking for so they can put their arms down. And the government obviously said, no, we will not negotiate because you have killed Congolese. You are not Congolese yourself, but this is a proxy war that is being waged by Rwanda against Congo, because most of the M23 is armed and, if you like, supported and controlled by Kagame. So this is what is actually happening at the moment. But when President Felix came into power, that is Tshisekedi came into power, he said no to that kind of deals. He said it won't happen because these people are terrorists. They must put their arms down. They must surrender themselves, and then they will be dealt with on individual basis or individual cases. Those who are Congolese, they will stay here and reintegrated within society, and those who are of foreign origin, they must go back where they are from. Now, this is something that is not pleasing to them, and they just don't want to accept things at that value, so they will fight tooth and nail just so they can get their way. And their master, if you like, the mastermind behind this is Kagame. So what he's wanting to do is wanting to bring the government to a place where they can negotiate. But the president said, no, it won't happen. So they have created another, if you like, the United Nations armed, if you like, peacekeeping missions in that part of the Congo is called the MONUSCO. MONUSCO has been there for 20 years with a strong 20,000 personnel, armed forces. And yet there have been killings, there have been all this violence, there have been all this rape, and all this that have taken place right there, and the MONUSCO unable to do anything. And it was not long ago that the head of United Nations, Guterres, said something like, oh, the M23 has the latest weapon. We are not even matched for them at this stage. And that was a shock. Couldn't believe that somebody of his caliber and that organization will make such a declaration to a rebel group, M23. I mean, if you cannot stand against, then what are you doing in the DRC? pack and go. Simple as that. So what we've come to realize is that, there is something going on between the MONUSCO and the M23 and Kagame. That's something that, Congolese have come to understand. They are definitely not there to protect the people, but they are there to do other business. And that is where we stand today. It got to a point where the Congolese themselves said, look, if we don't fight for ourselves, nobody else will do it for us. Now, the Congolese army, FARDC, they are basically respecting the rules of the game as it was agreed in the last agreement, or in the last protocol that they came out with from Angola and Kenya, in that they will not attack M23. They will respect their limits. They will do what they have to do, but they have asked the M23 to disarm, which they have not respected. They've gone past all the deadlines that were given to them. So now Congolese themselves, all the groups within Congo who are there to defend themselves, they stood up and now they are fighting against the M23. So they are using the weapon that they have taken from M23 and other ancestral, if you like, weapons that they are using. And so this group is called Wazalendo. So they are very strong and they're rising in power and they're standing to defend our country, and they're doing whatever they can so that they can basically defeat the M23. And I can say that, this has been going on for years, but right now they are really gaining ground and they're gaining momentum, and a lot of young people are joining them to defend our country. And what can you say? But you can only see all the atrocities, all the things that have happened to our people. Nobody is there to say anything or to defend or even to try to bring this war to an end. So at the end, we have to stand up, and the Wazalendo are doing such a great job, and they are wanting to defend the country and wanting basically for all that is foreign to actually leave and give us the peace that we deserve in Ruchuru, in Masisi, and all those eastern part of Congo. So just to let you know that if you hear the name Wazalendo, these are the people who are fighting to defend our territorial integrity. They are the ones that are fighting. They are not part of the FARDC, but they are, if you like, fractions of different groups in the DRC who are standing to defend our population. So as things unfold, we will bring you more information, but that's what we have for now. Please, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, share the link, and give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.